So, the source material for today's explainer makes a seriously bold claim that you can fix your entire life in just one day. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds completely impossible. But it's all built on this fascinating psychological framework that's designed to basically rewrite your entire mental operating system. And this is where it all kicks off. The source hooks us by going right after the way we usually try to improve ourselves. It argues that the real reason our big goals and resolutions almost always fail isn't because we lack discipline. It's because we've misunderstood how change actually happens from the ground up. So, what is that big misunderstanding? Well, the core idea here is that we're all trying to change from the outside in. We focus on our actions, what we do, but we completely ignore the pilot who's actually flying the plane, our identity.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Most of us get stuck in what's called second-order change. That's when you try to force new habits through sheer willpower and discipline. But the real magic, the lasting change, comes from first-order change. That's when you shift who you fundamentally believe you are. And when you do that, the right actions don't even require discipline anymore. They just happen.
And this example just illustrates the point perfectly, right? A serious bodybuilder isn't constantly fighting the urge to eat junk food. Why? Because their identity is that of a healthy, strong person. So eating well is just what they do. In fact, the source argues that for them, eating a pizza would actually feel like the real grind. The behavior is just a symptom of the identity, not the other way around. Okay, so if identity is the master key, how in the world do you change it? Well, first, we have to understand how it got programmed in the first place. Turns out, we all have these hidden goals running in the background of our minds, driving our behavior without us even realizing it. The source introduces this concept, teleological behavior. It sounds kind of academic, but it's a really simple and profound idea. It means that every single thing you do, from procrastinating to checking your phone, is an attempt to achieve some kind of goal. The tricky part? Most of the time, you have no idea what that goal really is. Understanding this is a total game changer because it means you can stop fighting your own behaviors and start figuring out the hidden goals that are driving them. So what does this actually look like? You know that project you keep putting off? Your unconscious goal probably isn't to finish it. It's to protect yourself from the judgment you might face if you finish it. And that dead-end job you say you hate? Your hidden goal might be the comfort and safety it provides. The source has this great line, trust only movement. Your actions always tell the truth about your real goals. And this whole process just builds on itself, creating this loop that you see here. It all starts with a simple goal. That goal leads to actions, you get feedback, and pretty soon that behavior becomes automatic. Eventually, it hardens into an identity. But here's the trap. Step number 7. We start to fiercely defend this identity, even if it's holding us back. It becomes part of us, and any challenge to it feels like a personal attack. This quote from Maxwell Maltz just hits the nail on the head. We literally hypnotize ourselves with our own beliefs. This identity we've built, this story we tell ourselves about who we are, has this incredible power over our actions, and it's what keeps us stuck in patterns we claim we want to break. Okay, so we get the problem, right? We're basically running on old, buggy software. But the source doesn't just leave us there. It gives us a detailed, very practical protocol designed to force a hard reset in a single, super focused day. And here's the game plan for the day. It's broken down into 3 phases. The morning is all about digging deep to uncover what's really going on under the surface. Throughout the day, you're going to use these specific prompts to snap yourself out of your automatic patterns. And then, in the evening, you pull it all together to build your new path forward. So the protocol starts not with some grand vision, but with pain. This first question is designed to make you face those low-grade frustrations you've just kind of accepted as normal. The whole point is to generate emotional leverage, because as the source says, if you don't hate it, you will tolerate it. This is about getting you angry enough with the status quo that you're finally ready to do something about it. This next step, man, this one is a gut punch, but it's incredibly powerful. It asks you to vividly imagine, in detail, a future where you fail to change. The point isn't to be a downer. It's to create a super strong motivation to get moving. By painting this clear, visceral picture of what's at stake, of what failure actually looks and feels like, you create a future you're desperate to run away from. That anti-vision can be way more powerful than any positive vision. Next up is the interrupting autopilot phase. What you do is set alarms throughout the day with questions just like this one.
These little pattern interrupts force you to step outside of yourself and become an objective observer of your own life. It snaps you out of that unconscious trance and makes you face the huge gap between what you say you want and what your actions actually show. It's a moment of radical, brutal honesty. And finally, in the evening, it's time to put all the pieces together. After digging up all that pain and observing your patterns, this question asks you to name the real villain. And the whole point is to shift your focus inward. The enemy isn't your job or your circumstances or your lack of time. It's the core internal belief that's been pulling all the strings. And once you can name it, you can start to dismantle it.
Okay, but insight is useless without action, right? This is where you turn all those aha moments into let's go. The source suggests creating lenses instead of goals. A lens is just a way of looking at the world that guides your decisions. So you define one clear proof point for a year from now, then you work backward to a 1-month project, and then you figure out the 2 or 3 simple actions the new you would just do tomorrow. It's all about building momentum, starting now.
So how do you make this new system actually stick? Well, the final piece of the puzzle is this incredibly powerful metaphor that ties everything together. You reframe your entire life as a well-designed game. And this slide just lays it out so beautifully. It maps every single thing we've talked about to a game mechanic. Your vision, that's how you win the game. Your anti-vision, that's what's at stake if you lose. That 1-month project becomes a boss fight. Your daily actions become quests. This isn't about making your life trivial. It's about tapping into the exact same psychological drivers that make video games so addictive and motivating. You get clear goals, real stakes, and a constant feedback loop. And here is the ultimate payoff. When your vision, your mission, and your daily quests are this crystal clear, it creates what the source calls a force field. All those distractions and shiny new objects that used to pull you off course, they just lose their power. They don't help you win the game you're playing, so you ignore them. It creates this natural, almost obsessive focus.
So, that's the Cybernetic Protocol in a nutshell. It's a system for getting past those surface-level actions and fundamentally rewriting who you are. The insights are there, the framework is ready to go. As the source says, your game has been designed. Now, it's time to press start.